The truest confession you ever make about yourself happens the second something goes wrong. Not in your journal. Not on your meditation cushion. In the half-breath after the coffee spills, the email lands, the door slams. That tiny voice that fires before you can edit it. That's the real you talking. And by the end of this, you'll never hear it the same way again. You've spent years curating a self. The calm one. The grateful one. The one who writes 3 things they're thankful for and breathes through the tension. That self is real, but it's also rehearsed. It only shows up when you have time to prepare the lines. And life rarely gives you time to prepare. Watch what happens when the moment ambushes you. You stub your toe, and the word that leaps out isn't gratitude. You miss the deadline, and the sentence that floods in arrives fully formed, like it was waiting backstage the whole time. Where did it come from? You didn't choose it. It chose itself, and that's exactly why it matters. Your deliberate practices speak to the version of you holding the pen. Your frustration speaks to the version of you running the machine. One is the actor, the other wrote the script. Think about how assumption actually works. An assumption is a belief so deep you've stopped noticing it's a belief at all. It feels like reality. It feels like just the way things are. You don't argue with gravity. You don't affirm that the floor will hold you. You simply assume it and walk. Your deepest beliefs about yourself operate at exactly that level. Invisible, automatic, load-bearing. So how do you catch a belief that hides this well? The moment you look, the curated self steps in front of it and starts performing. Meditation invites that performer to the surface. So does journaling. You sit, you center, you write your way toward who you want to be. Beautiful work, but the performer knows it's being watched. Frustration gives the performer no time to arrive. That's the whole secret. The spilled coffee, the rude reply, the plan that falls apart at the last minute. These are the most honest data your spiritual life ever produces. In the gap between trigger and response, your real assumptions speak in their own voice before the editor wakes up. Listen to what they actually say. Of course this happened to me. There's a self-concept buried in that sentence. A belief that life targets you, that you're the kind of person things go wrong for. Or maybe you hear, I always do this. Always. A whole identity compressed into one careless word. You just told yourself who you are, and you didn't even flinch. Here's the part that stings. You can affirm abundance for an hour every morning, and still betray a belief in lack the instant the bill arrives. The morning voice is who you're trying to be. The frustrated voice is who you currently are. And only one of them is writing your life. So the practice changes. It stops being about generating better thoughts, and starts being about catching the thoughts already running. You become an eavesdropper on your own mind. At peace, the performer has the stage. Under pressure, the truth slips out unguarded. Let me make this concrete. Picture the last time technology failed you at the worst moment. The screen froze, the file vanished, and before you took a single conscious breath, a sentence ran through you. Recall it exactly. Leave it as it was. That sentence is a core sample drilled straight down through every layer you present to the world, into the bedrock of what you actually believe about your own life. What did it sound like? Nothing ever works for me. I'm so stupid. This is just my luck. Each of these is a tiny prayer, a declaration of identity, spoken with total conviction, fueled by raw feeling. And feeling-soaked conviction is precisely the substance that shapes your experience. You spend 20 minutes trying to feel wealthy in meditation. Then you spend 3 seconds genuinely, furiously certain that you're cursed. Which one do you think the deeper mind records? This is why so many sincere people stay stuck. They're doing the work, faithfully, on the surface. And underneath, in 100 small eruptions a day, they're broadcasting the opposite, with far more emotional voltage. The conscious campaign loses to the unconscious confession every single time. Think about how a child learns who they are. Nobody sits a 5-year-old down and recites their flaws like a list. The beliefs arrive sideways in moments of friction, a spilled glass, a sharp word, a face that falls. The child absorbs a verdict and files it away as fact. Decades later, that same verdict still fires the instant the glass spills again. You didn't write these assumptions on purpose. You inherited them in the heat of small disasters. And the heat is exactly where you'll finally rewrite them. Notice the symmetry there. The same conditions that installed the belief are the conditions that can replace it. Frustration built the cage. Frustration holds the key. Most spiritual advice tries to lead you around the difficult moment, towards some calmer room where the work feels nicer. But the calmer room is where the performer lives. The real ledger gets balanced in the messy moment you keep trying to escape. So consider the questions you've been asking. Why doesn't my morning routine seem to land? Why does the same problem keep circling back? The answer rarely lives in the routine. It lives in the 1,000 unguarded seconds between routines, where your true assumption keeps quietly casting its vote. You've been auditing the wrong ledger. Now turn this around, because something liberating waits on the other side of it. If frustration reveals your operating beliefs, then frustration is the most precise diagnostic tool you own. You can stop guessing what's blocking you. You can stop digging through years of memory or paying someone to interpret you. Your next bad moment will tell you everything, for free, with perfect accuracy. Most people waste that moment. They drown in the feeling or scramble to suppress it. You're going to do something different. You're going to listen. When the next surge of frustration hits, let the first sentence come. Don't fight it. Don't fix it yet. Just catch it. Like a fish you'll examine and release, hold it up to the light. Ask one question. What would I have to believe about myself for this to be my automatic response? The answer is your assumption. Naked, exposed, finally visible. And here's where the inner work gets demanding, where the path stops being comfortable. Seeing the belief doesn't dissolve it. The belief has been rehearsed 10,000 times in 10,000 small moments of irritation. It has grooves, it has momentum. One insight leaves years of unconscious repetition fully intact. This is the part the gentle quotes leave out. What changes it is the same mechanism that built it, repetition under emotion. You caught the old assumption mid-sentence. Now, in that same charged moment, you revise it. A flat affirmation read off a card won't reach this deep. You need a felt correction that carries equal conviction. The coffee spills. The old voice says, "Of course, my whole day's ruined." You catch it, and right there, while the adrenaline still hums, you choose the truer line. I'm someone things work out for, and a spill is just a spill. It will feel fake at first. Good. Fake is what new feels like before it becomes true. You're overwriting a file that's been running since childhood. The first few saves won't hold. Keep saving. This is mental discipline at the level that actually moves a life. Forget the discipline of sitting still for an hour. This is the far harder discipline of staying awake in the 3 seconds when you'd rather be unconscious. Anyone can be spiritual in the quiet. The test is who you are in the friction. And the friction comes daily. That's the gift hiding inside the irritation. Every traffic jam, every misunderstanding, every plan that collapses is the deeper mind handing you a live readout of your beliefs, plus an instant chance to revise them. The very moments you've been treating as obstacles to your peace were the curriculum all along. Consider what this means for the version of you you're trying to become. You assumed you'd build that self in your best hours, in stillness, in intention. But the self gets forged where you're caught off guard, and your words choose themselves. Change the unguarded voice, and you've changed the operating system. Everything downstream reorganizes, so stop trusting only the rehearsed you. The one who shows up prepared is too polished to be honest. Start studying the one who shows up uninvited. Your frustration isn't a failure of your spiritual practice. Your frustration is your spiritual practice finally telling you the truth. There's a strange intimacy in this. To meet yourself in your worst small moment and not look away, to hear that ugly little sentence and think, instead of shame, there you are. So that's what I've been believing. Pure recognition, no verdict. Because you can't revise a belief you refuse to admit you hold. Most people will go their whole lives mistaking their best behavior for their truest self. They'll keep journaling toward a person their frustration quietly contradicts. They'll wonder why the surface work never reaches the depths. And the answer was hiding in plain sound, in every muttered curse, and every, "Why does this always happen to me?" You get to stop making that mistake. The next time something goes wrong, and it will, today, probably within the hour, a sentence is going to rise up in you, fast and unbidden, and absolutely certain. That sentence is a message from the deepest part of you. You finally know how to read it. And reading it You finally get to rewrite it. Your beliefs aren't carved in your calm, they're confessed in your chaos. Go and catch the next one.